Well, hello, friend. Good morning or good afternoon, good evening, whenever you happen to be watching this. I'm David Thomas, and thanks for joining on this mentoring moment. Been doing these for several years, and somehow started them after I would do workout when I went to a place to do CrossFit, and somehow got into that habit. But we are so glad that you are joining today. I want to talk to you today about three things that you can do. This is important. So often in life we focus on what we cannot do. I cannot play piano. I cannot juggle. I cannot sing that well. There's more things that I cannot do than I can do. But I've learned in life that if an individual continually focuses and even speaks about what they cannot do, it will drain you from what you can do. I want to talk to you about three things that you can do that will not only change your life, but will also impact those around you. Those three things that you can do is be kind, be humble, and be grateful. Let me repeat them. I'm not talking about your spouse, I'm not talking about your kids. I hope they do that. I'm not talking about someone else. Our focus way too often is on others. And as I said the other day, just like when you fly and they warn you that if the cabin were to lose pressure, that a little mask is going to fall down, and you've got to put it on you before you put it on someone else. And there are things that only you can do for you. And you say, no, that's up to God. Well, once again, one of our favorite quotes, without God we cannot, but without us God will not. If you're just waiting for God to do everything, it's not going to happen that way. It's not the way He's designed us. Be kind, be humble, be grateful. Let's talk about be kind for a moment. You know, it costs you nothing to be kind. It costs you nothing to have a smile on your face, to treat people with kindness, with no ulterior motive. The reality is, if you're being kind and you have no ulterior motive, you want to sell them something or you want to get on their right side or whatever, can I tell you something? Most intelligent people will see right through that. They really will. I've had people try to butter me up, over the decades. You have as well. You can see through that. Be kind because it's the right thing to do. Life is short, life is hard. I happened to be at a restaurant actually yesterday morning for breakfast with a young man that I mentor a bit, and he's going through some things, and so we met. And at the restaurant we're at having breakfast, a young lady serving our table. Her name happened to be Tracy. There's a lot of restaurants in our area, so I'm not giving anything away. And her name happened to be Tracy, and she had something tattooed on her arm that I made a comment about. It actually says, "I love you more." And I commented about that, and I said, my wife and I say that to each other all the time, and she had it on her arm because her parents say to each other. But what the little bit of kindness, no credit to me, it's just kindness costs you nothing. I said, Tracy, in a moment, we're going to be praying over our food. What need do you have in your life that we might be able to pray over while we are eating? And she was delighted, and she talked about her and her daughter, and they lost a friend recently to death, and she stood right there while we prayed. Now, that's just a small degree of kindness. But sometimes kindness goes beyond that. Sometimes, the Bible says that love covers a multitude of sins. Sometimes we need to let go of things. In fact, can I say this? Sometimes you need to simply overlook it. Where people are expecting you to jump down their throat or to get on their case, as we say, and you just let it go. Why? Because you're being kind. What about being humble? Being humble does not mean you lay down and everybody can just walk over you and you think that you're a loser and pathetic, but I'm so humble. No, as it's been said, humble people do not think less of themselves. They simply think about themselves less. See, when you're humble, you actually, truly, if you're humble, you have security. You're comfortable in your own skin. You're okay that some people are better at things than you, and some are worse, or some are this, some are that. You're walking in enough security in who you are as a person. You know you're not perfect. You know you're not perhaps a hypocrite or a liar. But you realize that and you choose to humble yourself. It's interesting. I've heard this verse in the scriptures misquoted. But Jesus said, if you humble yourself, God will exalt you. If you exalt yourself, if life is all about you, if you become egocentric and everything revolves around you, so it's the world according to, put your name in that blank, that's not the way to live. You're going to live a pretty miserable life. You're going to be unhappy basically every day, and you're going to blame everyone else. Choose to be humble. Choose to accept who you are, your strengths, your weaknesses. Walk in the fact that God loves you as you are, and those imperfections that we all have, let God work on them and cooperate with Him. Be kind, be humble, and be grateful. Being grateful, once again, costs you nothing. It means that you're thankful. I'm thankful. Wow, we're in Ohio, and there's blue skies. There's been blue skies several days. But you know what? Those blue skies are not going to last forever. I wish they would, but they won't. But when you wake up in the morning, you can either begin to grumble and complain about the weather or politics or you name it. And if you begin every day with grumbling, I can tell you, you don't have a life that's filled with a lot of joy and contentment. But if you would begin every day, as soon as you wake up, one of the things my wife and I, every day, we say to God, Father, thank you that we had a comfortable bed to sleep in last night. Thank you for our house, a shelter. Thank you in cold temperatures that we have a furnace to keep us warm. Thank you in hot temperatures, we have air conditioning. And we always say this, thank you that when we woke up this morning, we're able to think and to reason. We're able to see with our eyes, hear with our ears, speak with our mouth. We're able to put our feet out over the bed and walk and move about in life. Every morning we say that. What? Because we're grateful. I'm not hoping it to be so, but I do know this, that there are many people when they wake up in the morning, they do not have those abilities, yet even then, we should be grateful. So be kind. Come on. You appreciate it when people are kind to you. It costs you nothing. It's a lovely thing. Some people think kindness is weakness. Oh, no. To be truly kind, you've got to be strong because you're going to overlook a lot of stuff. You're going to chuckle at things. You're going to see yourself as making those same mistakes in life. And why jump on that person? Why not show kindness? You're going to choose to be humble because these are choices. You can choose today. I'm going to be, with God's help, because I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me, I'm going to be kind and I'm going to be humble. I'm not going to think that life revolves around me. I'm not going to be insecure and then have to be arrogant and prideful to try to prove to people that I'm somebody I'm probably not. And finally, I'm going to be grateful. Each of those things, I love simplicity. I often say, if you don't love simplicity, you say, I like complicated things. I often say, you're sick. You need counseling or deliverance. Something's wrong with you. No, simplicity is a beautiful thing. And there's a simplicity in simply being kind, being humble, and being grateful. Notice not one of those is perfection. I'm not a perfect man. And people get confused. They think that, especially if a person claims to be a Christian, a follower of Christ, and they have flaws, they make mistakes from time to time, that, oh my, you're a hypocrite. No, people are hypocrites. The word hypocrite comes from a Greek word that means wear a mask. If they're pretending to be perfect, if they're saying they're perfect, and they're not, yeah, that's being a hypocrite. But most of us understand that we're human. And some of the errors and mistakes and failures of people often are not even sin. They're certainly not hypocrisy. They're simply human errors. We all do it. We all mess up at times, but like we say, when you mess up, you fess up, and then you get up. So as I close out this mentoring moment today, be kind. Come on, give people a break. The Greek word used at one point is epikeia. It means sweet reasonableness. Come on, put yourself in that person's shoes. You may have been. Show them some kindness. Be humble. Come on, just you're not all that in a bag of chips. I sure am not, and neither are you. You're an awesome person. You're a wonderful person, but don't get hung up in pride. God will resist you if you're proud. He'll draw close to you if you're humble. And then finally, be grateful. You get a lot to be thankful for. Most of you that watch this, not all, but most of you live in the United States of America. We've got people today that think, oh, we're a horrible country. I'll tell you, I've been in 26 nations. Every nation I've been in outside of the United States, if people could, they'd live right here with all of our imperfections. You know why we're an imperfect nation? Because we're imperfect people, okay? But we've got a lot to be grateful for. And so today, would you do this? And would you ask God, God, help me. Help me, Lord, to be kind. Help me to be humble. Help me to be grateful. Help me to be a better person, to be the best person you created me to be. Prayer doesn't have to be complicated. Just talk to your Father. He'll listen. Hey, listen, I love you. I think these mentoring moments are going to be on Wednesday and Saturday, as far as I can tell. So, Lord willing, I'll be back with you on Saturday. If this was a blessing to you at all, please share it. Leave your comments. That's always a blessing. And then also remember the YouTube channel that I have as well. And so listen, be kind, okay? Be kind. Come on, give somebody a smile. Give them a break. Be humble and be grateful. I love you. I bless you. Have an amazing day. You will only get one of these days. This happens to be 23rd day of September 2020. You only get one your whole life. Blessings. Bye-bye.